Hello, today I'm going to show you how to create these Christmas lights. Let's open a new document, set the stroke to none and the fill to green. Here is the color group I will be using today. First we will draw this base. Press the letter M for the rectangle tool or select it from the toolbar panel and single click on the artboard. Change the width to 60 pixels and the height to 7 pixels. Click OK. Let's create one more rectangle. This time set the width to 52 and the height to 67. Next we'll align them horizontally to the center. Select both shapes, then click on the bottom shape to mark it as a key object. Open the Align window and choose Horizontal Align Center. Now move the top rectangle down to align it with the bottom rectangle. It helps to have the Smart Guides turned on. Next, we'll combine these two shapes into one object. Select both shapes, then go to Pathfinder and choose Unite. Now we will add curves. Press the plus button on your keyboard to switch to the Add Anchor Point tool or select it from the toolbar panel. Now single-click at this intersection to add one anchor point to the top edge and one to the bottom edge. Switch to the Direct Selection tool and select both anchor points. Press the up arrow key on your keyboard to move them up. We could use the round corner widget to create a curved line, or we can use the Convert Anchor Point tool instead. We could also use the Convert Selected Anchor Points to Smooth icon from the top toolbar. I'm going to use the Anchor Point tool. Click on the anchor point, hold and drag to create a curve. And do the same with the bottom anchor point. Let's duplicate this shape. Press the Ctrl and C keys on your keyboard to copy it and Ctrl F to paste it in front. Apply a different color, open the transparency window and reduce the opacity to about 48%. Let's move the yellow shape down. Make sure there is no wide gap between these two shapes. Let's lock the yellow shape layer to prevent it from shifting. Now switch to the Direct Selection tool, select these two anchor points and move them up. Next we'll add a shadow. Select dark green, switch to the Pen tool and draw a triangle that extends beyond this line. Let's unlock the yellow shape layer. Now select everything and press the Shift and M keys on your keyboard to switch to the Shape Builder tool. Select green. Now click, hold and drag across the top shapes to unite them. Next, while you are holding down the Alt key, click, hold and drag across the yellow shapes to delete them. Let's unite these two shapes. Zoom in on this corner and delete this tiny shape. And this one. Next, switch to the Delete Anchor Point tool and remove this anchor point. And this one as well. Sometimes when we use the Shape Builder tool, Illustrator creates empty paths that are useless. All we need is this triangle shape and this big shape. We can delete these two shapes to keep our design clean. Next, we'll round some of the corners. Let's zoom in and select these two corners. Now click on this Live Corners widget and drag to create a curve. If we would like to use a precise radius value, first highlight the number in the corners window and then type a desired number. Next, select the other 4 corners and change their radius to the same number. And we are done with this part. Let's group it together. Next, we'll create this light bulb. Press the letter L for the ellipse tool or select it from the toolbar panel. Change the fill to yellow and single-click on the artboard. Type 115 for the width and 245 for the height. Switch to the Direct Selection tool and select these 2 anchor points. Let's move them down. Go to Object, Transform and choose Move. Highlight the number in the vertical window and change it to 18 pixels. Select these 2 anchor points and let's move them up. Switch to the Anchor Point tool and click on this anchor point. Click on the Live Corners widget and change the radius to 10 pixels. So, like we did before, highlight the number in the corners window and change the value to 10. Next, we'll add highlights. Select the Rounded Rectangle tool and draw a small and narrow rectangle. Next, select the Free Transform tool and rotate this shape just a little bit. Then select the Perspective Distort tool, click on this corner and drag to make the top edge wider and the bottom edge narrower. Let's change the fill to white and place it here. Switch to the Ellipse tool and draw a small ellipse. Now rotate it and adjust the size if needed. Select both white shapes and group them together. Then right-click, choose Arrange and bring to front. Now open the transparency window and change the opacity to about 70%. Next, we'll align these 2 shapes. Click on the yellow shape to select it, and while you are holding down the Shift key, select the green shape as well. Now click again on yellow shape to mark it as a key object. You will notice a heavy border around it. Then go to Align panel and choose Horizontal Align Center. Click Away to deselect. Right-click on the green shape, choose Arrange and Bring to front. Let's zoom in. Deselect, click on this anchor point and move it up. Zoom in a little bit more, turn on the outline mode, click Away to deselect and drag this shape to align with this curve. Let's turn off the outline mode. Select both shapes and create 3 copies. Next, open the Swatches window, select the second light, right-click and choose Ungroup. And do the same with the other 2 lights. Select the second light and change its color to orange, third one to blue, and the last one to red. Now select each light and group it together. Next, we'll create a wire. Swap the fill and the stroke and change the stroke to green. Now select the pen tool and draw a straight line. Change the stroke's weight to 7 points. Next, go to Effect, Distort and Transform and choose Zigzag. Change the ridges per segment to 3, the size to 16 pixels, and the points to smooth. Now go to Object and choose Expand Appearance. Let's place our lights on the line. Select the line, right-click, choose Arrange and Send to Back. Select the first light and then press the letter R for the Rotate tool. Single-click somewhere here to move the rotation point up, and then click on the light, hold and drag to rotate it. Next, while you are holding down the Control key, click on the next light to select it. Now click over here to set the rotation point and rotate the light. We can move it down if needed. And do the same with the other two lights. Finally, we will create a pattern brush. Let's select everything and scale it down. Group everything together and open the brushes window. Now drag this design into the brushes window, choose the pattern brush and click OK. Click on this arrow and change the left corner tile to None. Now select this new brush, switch to the paintbrush tool, and we are ready to draw. We can also apply this brush to a circle, for example. However, if we try to apply the same brush to a rectangle, you will notice that the corner tiles are missing. You might also notice a slight distortion. To correct this, open the pattern brush window and select the approximate path from the Fit options. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.